Okay, all right. Coming off a tough loss, obviously, Saturday. We'll say this, I'm very proud of our players. I thought they played extremely hard and they played their guts out. Before the game, I said this is going to be a good measuring stick of where we're at as a team for this year, and what we know after that game defensively, we got a real defense. And very proud of those guys and the way they played. Clemson's offense presents a lot of challenges. Special teams, I feel good about where we're at with our special teams. Our punting game needs to improve, and we'll work hard with that. And then offensively, we didn't get it done the other night. I think the fact we got a new coordinator, we got a new quarterback, got a couple new guys up front, it's just going to take a little time. Those guys do understand the areas they need to improve on, and like I said after the game, we are going to be a good offense, and you'll see that group improve each week. Chip has decided to go upstairs. That's really where his comfort zone is. That's where he was the last 2 years at Arizona State. Just feels like he can get a better feel for the defenses and everything that goes with that. Herb will come downstairs. He thinks it'll be a good thing for him to get around his offensive line up front. So those are the changes there, and I think that'll definitely help as far as that's concerned with that. Now, as far as Mercer goes, obviously we're excited. It's homecoming. When I look at them, you can turn on the film, and in all three phases, you can tell they're extremely well coached. They do what they do well, and they play hard. Our message to our team is that this is really about us. We need to play a good overall game, and our team is committed to that. And I'm looking forward to practicing today and getting ready to play Mercer. Questions?
Gus, do you anticipate personnel changes on the offensive line?
Not at this point right now.
What's your assessment of how Jarrett performed? Seemed like he was a little tender again.
Well, he was put in some tough spots. He was hit quite a bit. Obviously, he was harassed in the passing game. But I thought, I thought he played with courage. I thought he fought. And I thought he played extremely hard.
Gus, how do you balance the not turning it over by having a little bit of a gunslinger mentality and taking some chances?
Yeah, obviously when you don't play well offensively, you tend to look at the things that you didn't get done. You tend to look at the things that need to improve. But one thing that the offense did is they didn't turn the ball over. And it starts with the quarterback. I thought he protected the ball well. And I thought the running backs protected the ball well.
Were there any commonalities with the sacks? Obviously 11 sacks is way too many for you. Some things that you thought were in common that you could fix on a short-term basis?
Yeah, obviously, we hadn't had 11 sacks before. That's a new thing for us, and we just got to do a better job of putting our quarterback in some different situations. And obviously, when you're going against a dominant defensive line, for sure passing situations as far as that goes. All those things are correctable, and will be corrected. And like I said, it's 2 games under our coordinator's belt with our players, and just defining what we're going to be and who we're going to be moving forward. He's got a great understanding of that, and our players do too.
Gus, why aren't there changes to the offensive line? 11 sacks ties to the most allowed in 5 years in all of college football. Prince State had trouble even the week before. Why aren't there changes when you have 2 graduate transfers in particular?
Well, I said there probably won't be changes. We'll see how practice goes. But we believe in our players, I'll tell you that. They were put in some tough situations at times. I got to do a better job. Our coaches got to do a better job of putting our players in better situations. But we believe in those guys. They are going to improve. Like I said earlier, you're going to see it every week. And so I'm not ready to sit here right now and say there's going to be change. We'll see how practice goes. We'll challenge those guys. And like I said, there was put in some tough situations at times against a very talented defensive line.
What does Wilson Bell have to do to show that he's worthy of starting on this team?
Well, Wilson, just like everybody else, we got to compete, and you earn it in practice. You earn it on the field, and we'll see what happens.
Gus, is this change with Chip and Herb, is that a reaction to some of the confusion and scatterbrain stuff that was happening in the game on Saturday night?
Well, I think as a coach, you always look at how you can improve and what you can do as a coach to make your players better, your side of the football better, and so really it's not an overreaction. It's just more of a reaction to what's best, and really Chip's comfort zone. just being able to see the field, see the defenses. And that was his comfort zone. Originally, you know, he felt pretty strong that he needed to be down there with the quarterback and look him in the eye and all that. But, you know, you learn and you look at things and what's best. And he feels very confident that that's going to help, and I know it will. And then the fact that Herb will be down there with his offensive line, I think will help too. So as a coach, you just look for ways to help your team, and I really believe strongly that'll happen.
Was that your decision, or did Chip bring it up, or?
No, Chip brought it up, and I totally supported it. And just, you know, I want to make sure he's comfortable, and he'll do that.
Does it change at all the dynamic between you and him collaborating as far as, I mean, he's just going to be a nameless, faceless dude up in the box. Does it help to kind of be able to see him and talk to him and read his?
Well, I mean, you know, Kevin Steele's up in the box, you know, and I'm used to, you know, our defense coordinator being in the box, and so it will not be a factor, you know, as far as anything on the sideline goes.
Does it look like during the telecast that you were once again living and dying with every play? You were quite talkative during plays. The perception of this fan base is that you were heavily involved in play calling, even though both you and Chip have denied it. How do you speak to just what people saw on national television, that you look heavily involved in play calling?
Well, I mean, I was probably just as animated when we were on defense and special teams as I was offensively, and I'm an emotional coach, and that's just the way I am.
Is that hard to not let Chip do his thing and, you know, have that interaction, that working together, but not to try to take over that?
Yeah, you know, this is Chip's deal, and Chip's going to do a great job moving forward, and you know, we'll communicate from time to time, but you know, we got a good plan moving forward, and like I said, we're going to be better.
Is there any concern that 2 of his last 5 games have included 11 sacks as his quarterback?
No, just concerned about the last game and needing to correct the things from the last game that we needed to do.
Gus, on punt returns a couple times, it looked like Steven decided not to field the ball, and that turned out to be a field position.
Yeah, and Stephen will, you know, there was one that was really close. There was one that he felt like he could have got after watching film, but one was really close. And, you know, there's a fine line, and the more that a punt returner gets back there and feels more comfortable, the more aggressive he'll be. And, you know, Stephen had made a very good decision on that rugby kick that bounced once and hit the seam. He made 3 people miss, and he is going to be a huge weapon for us moving forward. But I think it's just a matter of just a little bit more experience in game situations. You know, he kind of took over late last year, but he'll learn from it and be better in the future.
Gus, was there an issue with them kind of jumping the snap count? It seemed like there was several times when they basically got to run and start.
Yeah, at times. There's no doubt that the defensive end, you know, I think he was offsides one time, but he you know, we were mixing up our snap count, and you know, I think in the past, for sure, passing situations, he got a jump on us. There's no doubt.
Gus, can you talk about maybe in the second half in the one possession game, maybe getting away from the run like you normally don't do, and the fact that Cam Martin barely ever touched the football? It just seemed like you were trying to ride Petway as much as you could.
Yeah, you know, I mean, first of all, the Petway deal. You know, he's a veteran back, and you know, when you play a big game, you know, we were you know, wanting to get him the ball. That was part of that. You know, obviously looking back, you know, we could have been more patient with the run, and we thought there was some things there in the passing game, but you know, obviously we didn't get it done there. But you know, as a coach, you look back and you know, you try to correct the things, and you know, moving forward in the same type situations.
The 4th and 3 call, when you were trying to, I guess the wheel route to Chandler was the goal there, but it was defended pretty well. Was there any thought that maybe, what prompted you to take such a long shot on that?
Yeah, it was one of those situations where, you know, it was going to be a 55-yard field goal against the wind. Then you have the opportunity to punt. And then as the game gets going on, strategically, you know, how you're moving the football and the chances you're going to have to score touchdowns. And so, you know, Eli Stove was really the first option on a deep post, and we knew they were going to play zero, and then the out and up would be the second, and you know, they green dog through and just didn't have enough time just to hold a little bit longer. But from a coach's standpoint, and you know, anytime we go for it on 4th down, that's going to be my call as far as doing that. And just as the game was unfolding, that's the way I felt. I mean, obviously you look back and you'd like to take some things back and when they don't work, but at the time, the way the game was unfolding, it was hard to move the football there for a while and thought we had a chance to score a touchdown.
Prior to that play call, again, on television, you could see that you and Chip are next to each other, and then he ends up 40, 50 yards behind the play. Can you explain the interaction between the two of you prior to that fourth down call?
No, I really don't remember the exact, situation or really even what the conversation was before the fourth down call.
So that wasn't part of what prompted Chip going upstairs, because it's hard to imagine an offense coordinator making the next play, and you converted that. It's hard to imagine somebody making a call from 40 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what you're talking about, but as far as him going upstairs, it's just the reality that he feels like he can do a better job upstairs. I mean, that's just, you look at everything from a coach's standpoint, and that's what he feels strong about. He feels strong that he can do a better job up there, managing the game, seeing the game, the fact that he was there the last 2 years, and that's really his simplest way to put it.
You
Does
saw
there any
some,
other changes in how you scout an opponent or put in the game plan or anything like that, preparing offensively?
Well, I mean, like I said, we're looking at everything right now. We're not going to overreact. We are a good offense. You'll see the offense improve. We just got to do a better job of coaching our guys and getting them prepared.
Do you expect Kerryon Johnson to be available this week?
I don't know. I'm not ready to say yet. I mean, I know he was out there moving around pretty good Sunday. We got some other guys banged up. I'm really not ready to say that. I'll have to see how practice goes this week, as far as that goes.
Are you surprised by how much fussing there is by reporters and fans alike about, are you calling the plays, is Chip calling the plays? Does it surprise you?
Well, here's what, from a fan standpoint, the frustration that they have that I fully understand is the way that we finished the season last year and the frustration, and then Saturday night looked the same. So I get that from that standpoint, but I will say this, we are going to improve. We're going to be a good offense, and that is for sure. But that's the frustration, and I understand that, and then so it's natural to say that, and I get that, and I own that, but we are going to improve. You got to look at it really from the big picture standpoint that that's one of the best teams in college football, if not the best, could be. We have a very good defense. We have a good kicking game. We're going to improve on offense, and our goals are all still intact. We're a good football team, and obviously we didn't get it done on one side of the football. It's very frustrating for me. It's very frustrating for our coaches, but we have a team that has great leadership. We have a staff that is very close, and we're going to put it in our rearview mirror, and we're going to move forward. And our mind's on Mercer, and we're going to play well, and we need to improve each week. And we got the makings of a good football team, and that's what we're going to do.
Gus, every season it seems like we speak about how about 3-4 weeks in the season, that's when you kind of identify everything and you feel good about your offense. And you kind of felt a little bit different going into this season with a new quarterback, but why do you think that every season it takes a few games before you guys get your foot in?
Well, just looking at this season, I mean, I think the fact that we have a new coordinator, we do have a new quarterback, a couple new guys up front, and I think the coordinator's learning his offense. His players are getting used to him, and I think that's really the facts of the matter right now.
Yes,
Talk about the role of the tight end going forward in the offense. You want to see them get a little more involved?
Yeah, I'd like to see him get more involved, and our receivers too. We just got to do a good job of being in balance and being effective.
Yes, talk about your running game, Chip's passing game, and trying to mesh those two together. Is that creating some difficulty?
No, I don't think that's creating difficulty. I mean, obviously, when we were just putting our guy, when we were in for sure passing situations, just trying to get, more 3rd down and 4 to 6s. We had a lot of 7+s, and those for sure passing situations, really got the best of us with that defensive line.
You said that prior to the season, going back to the tight ends for a moment, that it was going to be the biggest difference that you've definitely thrown when Sal Cannell was barely on the field. Just why wasn't he a bigger part of the game plan?
Yeah, I think Sal was on the field a couple times. I think he was a main target twice. Jalen Harris, we did run a play action down the goal line, and obviously he was covered. So there was some penalties as far as trying to get those guys the ball, but sometimes it doesn't unfold, you know, the way that you thought.
Urban Meyer's also dealing with questions about his offensive play calling with a new offensive coordinator. He said yesterday a lot of times head coaches can screw things up worse than they are when they start getting too involved. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I'm not, I can't answer for, you know, what they're going through or how he feels.
Cam Pettigrew good for Saturday?
What's that?
Cam Pettigrew good for Saturday?
You know, I expect him to be. We'll see how he is. Like I said, there's some others too that got a little banged up. We'll see how practice goes, you know, this week and have a better idea, you know, later in the week.
Chip mentioned that Darius Slayton was a little banged up going into the Clemson game. What do you expect from him this
Yeah,
week?
he's kind of in that same boat. You know, Darius, you know, he got hurt late in the first game and wasn't able to practice, and he tried, I think he got in there 6 or 7 plays, you know, just trying to do some different things, but hopefully he'll be healed up. We got to get him 100%. Obviously, he's a guy that's a deep threat, and but you know, that was a tough one not having him.
Anything else? All right, Coach, thank you.